Good morning, all. Welcome to Parks O&M.
Morning. Morning.
Need approval of the minutes of the prior meeting. Mr. Bruno. Mr. Bruno, I get a second? Mr. Perry? Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Privilege to the floor, the public, have anything to check with the Parks O&M? Seeing none, we'll move on. Okay, action agenda. It's on you now.
It's on me now. There are no new action agenda items or new business items. There are discussion items though. I will give my update kind of to the Charles Artwood Park and then I'll let the mayor take over. It's kind of 1 and 2 together. The maintenance updates is we have done a lot of repair work to the park after Ice Castles. We brought a lot of it back, but starting this coming week, we will have a barricade in there. So the recovery, not as much as I wanted to, but it certainly will make a difference in what the park looks like. And I think it will recover, but this has been an ongoing issue every year, but we've completed kind of our task and our work out there.
No, I mean, it's coming around, it's taking its time, but you know, the weather hasn't been completely compliant with us. It's either too much rain or not enough. But just to recap on the bi-weekly maintenance that we talked about. Was it bi-weekly that you guys were gonna help us out with that?
I think so, yes. Yep.
I don't think it's happened yet, and I don't blame anyone because there's been a decent amount of rain, but there's some areas where we had it cleared and cleaned and shortened last year. Now it's back up to, 1.5 2 feet. Up by the road in the, basically where we would need a slope mower. And we talked about that briefly in the past about jointly acquiring a slope mower. The town of Lake George, when we did the big cleanup last year, and brought theirs over and graciously did a lot of work. Jimmy helped out a lot with that, but it's not a town park. So I'm kind of like, what kind of schedule are we gonna get on? We have kind of basically Dave Goodsell taking care of the interior, maintaining it. The county, Kevin's been very gracious with the amount of help so far to bring it back, but just the outskirts, just echoing concern from residents as well.
Yeah, and I think Dave he's actually done the hill as well, because he's gone up to Fort William Henry and all in that area. So I think the part that we were gonna concentrate on ourselves for the village was the playground area, because that's the area where it builds up and it's hard to get it. So that's the area that we were gonna concentrate on. And then Dave was gonna do inside the park and the hill. I mean, we can certainly, the problem always came to be when Mayor Blaze was there, was that it seemed to be an awful lot of time for the work to be completed. And what we talked about was in a 3-day period. I certainly think now with the inside the park and, around the skate park and such, the 3-day period is not an issue. I think he can get it done in that amount of time, so that we would concentrate on the playground area.
My other concern by the sign is a difficult area for him to reach with the equipment that we have, just up to the sidewalk on the main road, that one section and some of the area. He does his best with what he has to work with, but I kind of feel like we could use a hand there as far as the bi-weekly or however many the schedule is. I just wanted to see a little more help there. It'd be great if we could get that. Also, I just wanted to remind everyone the benches for the Westbrook Conservation Initiative. Jimmy, I talked to Jimmy before he left Libram, and they talked about composite benches. We mentioned they're roughly around $600 to $700 each. They last a lot longer than the wood. We bring in the wood ones in the winter so that they'll last longer. These we wouldn't even have to, so it gains some storage space, nicer look. They don't weather like wood, so they would be And I think it was around 6 or 7 of them, around $700 a piece. The last message or indication I got from here was, sure, he could go ahead and get them. I've given him that go ahead, so he's gonna probably do that, acquire them and then turn in a receipt, just so we.
You were gonna provide me with manufacturer that you guys were.
Yeah, he
Yeah, okay.
pulled some off of the
Okay.
internet and, I had brought them with the last meeting, but, they are in a pile underneath, several other papers that I put where I would not forget where I put them. So I'll provide that. And that's sort of a guideline as to what he wanted. He said he was gonna just update that, and when he provides that to me, I'll forward it
We
along.
have finances for that, Kevin, right? All right, so let's move ahead with that.
And he did
Do you
get,
have any resolution to do that or anything?
do we need a motion for that? Yeah. We don't have total really.
Okay, so let's
Their commodity and their.
And he did get permission, because the goldfish are still a problem. They got permission for a couple of largemouth basses, which are a natural predator, since the goldfish really don't have much protection to the spine. He explained it in a lot more detail than I'm gonna be able to.
I can add on. So Rob Fiorentino, Jim Lieberman had reached out to Rob Fiorentino from DC regarding putting some type of predator fish in there, whether the bass or pike. Thought the bass would be better suited as opposed to putting pike in there. Believe it or not, I didn't think the goldfish would make it through the winter. And Rob Fiorentino from DC said they are very hardy. They will certainly make it through the winter, and they did. So we signed a permit last week to get largemouth bass, so they will be put in. I don't think they've been put in yet. I think they had to go out there, and they're gonna get them from Lake George. They want to get them from a water close by. But not to take them out of Lake Luzerne or something else. They're gonna get them from Lake George and put them into the ponds. Not that there's anything
You
wrong
can
with.
take 'em out of Lake
Lake Luzerne.
You don't get that many. They run, the state dumps their fish right on our beach,
Right at Million
which
Dollar.
is 20 yards from the overspill. So they go right down and over the waterfalls and into the Hudson. So, I mean, you guys put
They're
it
little
at
stuffies
the
too,
other
if I
end of the
remember.
lake and it's good, but
So they,
you convince them.
yeah, so they're gonna stock them with the bass and hopefully that'll take care of our goldfish problem.
I think it was only 3, right? Or to like a
2 or 3. Yep.
like a 12-inch or larger, and then 2 smaller ones. Hopefully they don't like spawn, and then we have bass problem, but I think we'll be okay. Well, we can fish, yeah. The other,
Yeah, the last time we had
Oh,
on
you-
there is the Elizabeth Little Boulevard. We've had a parking issue,
Mm.
and this was even when Dennis was there, we had a parking issue along Betty Little Boulevard, it used to be Westbrook Road, on the Westbrook stream side. On the other side, they have the parking meters and such up now, so it's taken care of. So I had recalled once, and I wish Jim had left, but there was some grant funding to put kind of a split rail fence along through there. Or maybe some kind of timber rail or such through that area to prevent individuals from parking in that area and still leave pathways through there. So I certainly want to reach out to Jim and ask if there's still some of that funding available that we could do something like that. But I mean, in all reality, they're dumping their material, next to Westbrook. They're ruining the embankment to Westbrook. There's many issues that are coming along with it, so. We want to kind of, and maybe even planners or something down through there as well.
Okay, yeah, we can look into that. You ticket that,
Needs to
right?
take
we,
care.
we ticket it every chance we get. Sometimes it's overwhelming. I mean,
On
during
the
like,
north
the-
side of Elizabeth.
yeah, the north,
Westbrook Road,
yeah,
yeah.
the southbound.
Is it
lane.
always or just doing events?
Mostly during events in the park, like the Memorial Meltdown, they're
Yeah.
gonna be living in their cars right there, for the 2-day festival period. We have meter enforcement. I mean, they get overwhelmed with just that. I mean, it's 80 to 100 tickets to write. So it's kind of difficult to keep up with that.
Good
Plus
revenue.
that and the rest of the, yeah, good revenue.
All right, anything else, gentlemen?
That's all I had.
We did have a cancellation, I'm sorry, of the Brewfest. Common Roots was gonna do a Brewfest in September, and they just said they They didn't get the tax funding from the joint that they wanted. I thought that they would just come back and ask. Again, they didn't bring any representation to the meeting. The village gave them what they asked for, but when we talked to them, so they just up and canceled. But they had some grumblings from other breweries that were going to be attending. These guys are getting their butts kicked financially. Breweries that didn't join the cider bandwagon. Cider is like 50% of the, or not cider, seltzer bandwagon. Seltzer's 50% of the market right now. You know, breweries were up here and now they're down here, so they did claim a financial hardship and how much extra money they would need to put this on, and I think I've reached out, but I think the ship has sailed, so.
So you got an opening then?
Got an opening,
We can probably get it filled.
likely get it filled.
Hey, anything else?
Just the MJ Engineering. We awarded them the bid for the design. I didn't know if they asked for a site visit or I forgot to ask them the other day on the phone.
So as you
For
all
Happy's
know,
Playground.
as you all know, we awarded the concept plans to MJ Engineering. MJ Engineering had reached out to me just yesterday.
Oh, good.
And I hadn't had a chance because of safety days and other items to call them back. I will certainly call them back this afternoon and we can start the discussion with them. That's the first thing I'd like to do is get them out and feel that and take a look at it.
Okay.
I know they've seen it, but it'll kind of have us all on the same page all around.
Yeah, being there's a big thing. The last thing is actually two things. The link to the website for Wood Park. There's a link on the county website. It's on our website. I believe the town even has it, but it's quite dated. And I was wondering if we could incorporate it into as other county parks are better represented on the county website. Wood Park's kind of sort of has been a standalone, and I understand the reasoning behind it, but kind of I want it to be included in the county's offerings. It's more of a side set or subset of parks on its own. I thought maybe we could add some maybe fresh pictures to of more current events. It's come a long way, and
Why don't you get with us sometime this next week coming up after the holiday and we'll bring Heather involved into that
Yeah.
and see if we can.
And,
Don.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be great. And last is July 12th. We are doing in the village a proclamation for Charles R. Wood. I kind of got bamboozled into this, not really bamboozled. I was approached early in my first year by someone I thought was like a actual organized Gaslight Village fan page. She just has a Facebook page and she's like, how come there's a Bob Blaze Day, but there's never been a Charles R. Wood Day? I'm like, well, it's a good point. Let's do that. And then I finally got a hold and talked to Bobby Bobby Wood Wages, his daughter. She's like, yeah, I never met that woman. But I agreed to it, so I'm going to go through with it, but it's July 12th, which coincides with the 65th anniversary of the opening of Gaslight Village. We have a plaque that we bought to mount to a large piece of granite. And we'll do a small ceremony there, but I thought it would be a good opportunity for any of the supervisors that have not seen the conservation area to come to the ceremony.
Got a time or anything yet in so we can get it advertised?
Keep you posted.
All
Be
right,
the June meeting, I'll let you know.
all right. But we'll talk about maybe next week and with the other talk, get more on the county website.
Yeah, I think it'd be great for the,
All right.
it's a good amenity for the county.
Give me a time next week that you're available. and I'll try to
Okay.
put it together.
Sure.
All right. Anything else to come?
The communication, the alarm system?
Yeah, if we can touch on that.
Yeah, we just had to actually turn bypass the alarm system at the bathrooms. There's an issue. We had New York Fire and Signal there and they said it's not them, it's the connection. So I didn't know if you had like an IT that you wanted to get involved.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about it.
Just happened yesterday.
Oh, yes, okay.
Yeah, I've just send them our way. I mean, they don't know what the issue is.
No, not again, Warren County, soil,
Fire and Signal.
fire and signal. Said that they've tested everything, they've changed batteries, they've done every possible thing that they could. We're still getting the same results within the course of one day, so there's something affecting it. And they're either, I'm not sure what the service is, if it's Verizon or Spectrum, but they're kind of pushing the, responsibility onto them. So we're stuck in the middle, getting calls all night long, that kind of thing, so. So if we could, if you guys had.
I don't know who it is, but there's Verizon, I believe it's Verizon.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was Verizon or Charter or Spectrum.
Certainly reach out to Verizon.
So it's on hold right now.
Take care of that, Kevin. Anything else? Privilege to the floor out there. Anybody have any questions or comments? Motion adjourned. Mr. Bruno and all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?